Actually, nothing shows. Well, you're early. Admit. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, good morning. Hey, Roy, how are you?
All right. No surfers today, eh?
Not a one.
Kind of cold.
Snow tonight. Hey, Mickey.
I need a really big favor. Just until I can get to the truck, can I use your
Love the nature, Mark Dennis.
Good morning. The birds are singing, the fire pit's going.
Wow.
Really?
Roasted birds.
Roasted
Ooh,
carp. Great. What's for breakfast? Whoa. There's my roof.
Did you fall down?
It's okay. I can get back up. Mostly.
Man,
there.
you're already drinking wine this morning?
I should be.
You guys should be with me at the beach.
Ooh, that's a fake beach. That's a fake beach.
Oh, it's on video. Nothing's fake on video.
That's true.
Hey, Brian.
Good morning. I'm just leaving the beach.
You lie a lot.
You looked on my Facebook. We got up and watched the sunrise this morning.
Nice.
It was nice.
Yep. I got a photo of it somewhere.
Good morning, Jody. This is Stephanie. I'm on, but not my picture, okay?
That's okay.
There's Brian, zooming and driving.
I'm riding. Hands free. Not cooking breakfast this morning.
Oh dear.
Turn the
I know,
camera
I
around.
know.
You're going.
This is a crazy start to the day. I even have a little bed head.
Nice.
You need to get a haircut.
Which one?
Okay.
Dad jokes, right?
Hey, Tommy, how are you?
Good. How's everybody?
Doing good.
Good.
Oh,
Niagara Falls.
yeah, something.
Good morning.
Good morning, Carolyn.
Hi, Carolyn. How are you?
Good morning.
Driving and
Nope, I'm the passenger.
oh, you're the passenger. Good.
I'm the passenger.
Are you headed out of town, Brian?
No, we're in the Harris Teeter parking lot.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, we just went to the beach, and now we got to run by Crystal's office to grab some paint. We're gonna paint a wall in her office this weekend.
Fun times.
We got to match up the right colors.
Everybody say hi to Dirk.
Hey, Dirk.
Good morning, Dirk. Good morning.
Did you make me a co-host?
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, shh.
Mm-mm.
That looks like my sunrise.
Yeah, I
That's
lost it.
beautiful.
Ah,
There's the puppy dog.
Yep, there they are. Wild and crazy.
So Brian, was that Crystal driving or your son?
That was Crystal driving.
Okay.
He's still sleeping.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's not getting up this early. Although we may make him do it tomorrow. That was pretty nice to get out there and do that. All right, what do we have here?
hey, Doug.
Good morning.
He's got the same picture I do, though.
Yeah, y'all are the same beach.
Opposite ends. Trees and up.
Gotta stay 6 feet apart up there on
Trees
that
over the
beach.
opposite shoulder.
I'm surprised they
Morning,
didn't
Corey.
quarantine you guys.
Good morning. Morning.
Hi, Brian.
Morning, Brian.
Happy Friday.
Hey, good morning, Brian.
Hi, Jamie.
Good morning.
Hey, Brian Henning, you have to be strapped into your chair so you don't fall out?
Exactly. Yeah, let me see if I can change this over. My two little sidekicks here.
Ah,
We're at well, you can't quite see it, Crystal's office, picking up some stuff. Yeah, this is the way they look at me all the time. Nonstop. They are fearful of me. Well, she doesn't care less, but he just can't take his eyes off of me.
Aw.
Hey,
Oh, well.
Katie.
So Brian, which one steers and which one does the gas and the brake?
They switch up as we go along. It's kind of a little routine they have. Sometimes I catch them both on the floorboard, though.
Uh-oh.
He's listening. Hey, Jacob. How are you?
Oh, baby Jake.
hi, Rugrat.
Oh, he's so cute.
Jacob needs the rotary pin.
I know it.
He's looking at all of you there now.
Hey, Dan, can you get us really super small rotary shirt for Jacob?
We could probably arrange that. That's the Rotarian in training rather than the Rotarian at work.
Yep.
Love
So,
that.
Dan, are you ready for today?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Don't look, I'm gonna touch my face.
Happy what?
Mark, what kind of bird is that? What do you say, Greg? What do you got there? Greggy. Happy belated birthday. Oh, Jimmy. That's cute.
I don't know if he's there, but I thought I would just better late than never, huh?
I think he just checked in.
Greg, he signed in, but you're assuming he can read.
You're thinking I can spell.
He can only spell PPP right now.
What on earth is that?
It's a metronome.
Brian's turn signal.
Oh, is that my turn signal?
Yep.
Do you not hear that very often, a turn signal?
At least we're recording it. All right, I'll turn it around. So
Morning, John.
See if anybody can recognize where we are.
You're in the car.
This looks, hey, good point.
Yeah.
The Newtons may recognize this spot.
Yeah.
It's
I know that
canopy.
drive.
Canopy.
Buccaneer Trail.
Oh, no.
Morning, Bob. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
And there's the public restroom.
Paul Harris fellow yet?
Dan, are you ready for the day?
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Stan Stapleton.
The audio is not
Hey, Jacob. How are you?
Hey, everybody be quiet and let Katie say something so that so Jacob will come up on the screen.
Jacob's here. He says hello.
There he is.
Talking earlier. You had all your words.
Don't be shy.
Jody, put your screen in gallery mode and you'll get 20 people at one time.
I will, except that I'm watching the participant panel,
Oh.
which you'll get to do really soon.
Ready, John.
Hope he doesn't have to do that.
Yeah, I
Jim
hope not
Weaver's
either.
here. Hey, Jim.
Beard's looking good, Larry.
I refuse to shave. Steph refuses to kiss me.
Who's gonna cave?
Oh yeah, it'll shave before long.
Hey, Caesar, if you have pictures, you need to email those to Caroline Blocklinger right now.
Oh, I don't think I have her email.
Caroline@cbadvertising.com.
Morning, everyone. Ed Gagliardi here.
Good morning. How are you?
You're unmuted now.
Hi, Teresa.
Hey, Doug, you and Peter on the same beach.
Well, that's, I'm a realtor. I sold him a good piece of oceanfront. If you want to look at this morning's sunrise, look at my back.
Yeah.
This is actually what Highland Dunes looks like right now.
Yeah, right.
It would. Larry, oh my gosh.
Your head's on upside down, Larry.
Is it?
Yeah, the hair's on the bottom instead of the top.
Oh, believe I got hair up here.
Looks like a professor.
Did he say hair or air?
That's hair.
It's working on Santa Claus. Santa Claus look.
Santa Claus is in May.
It's a Dalai Lama.
Hello, Dolly.
I get these handlebars out here. That's where it's going.
Oh no.
I don't know. I'm getting more of a Colonel Sanders look over there.
Hey, Dottie. All right.
I don't think I want it to curl. I think I want them out.
Talk to Brian Coyne about doing that.
I've been speaking to Brian, the master.
I had a big curly Q at one time.
So
Don't do it again.
Lisa, is that you, Dale?
Where?
Oh, sorry, Jody. This is Dale Martin.
Okay, great. Glad to hear you and hope to see you. We'll get started in 1 minute.
Right?
Yeah. He's got today off. They're gonna go look for the Blue Angels.
Good morning, Brian Lane.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, thank you.
I always love how you have Lane right up above your head. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, we ready to get started, everyone? Nod yes. Hey, Caroline, can you pop up the flag for me? I'm not sure. Bear with me, guys. Okay, here we go. All right, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Mickey, let's turn it over to you.
He's still muted.
On mute.
Muted.
He shouldn't be.
No.
Go ahead, Mick.
Let us take this moment together to consider that there are some things in life that are best forgotten, but not these things, not this time. While we give thanks for the food in our own homes, let us not forget a helping hand for those less fortunate. While we offer blessings for our friends and families, let us not forget to reach out to those alone and pray, especially those who can't join us this morning. While we bask in our own health and good fortune, let us not forget those dedicated health professionals and other heroes who knowingly stand in harm's way for us. And while we cannot forget the danger that still lurks, let us also not forget the possibilities for good in the world, a world that we as Rotarians are committed to connect and make better every day.
Thank you, Mickey. All right, Mr. Westra, you're up.
Well, good morning, everybody. We have at least one guest this morning, Ed Gagliardi. Nice to meet you, Ed. And we'll have Dale Martin as our speaker, who will be introduced shortly. We have the Honorable Tommy Grimes, honorary member of the club, joining us this morning. Great to see you. And we have Stan Stapleton from the Satellite Club on the call as well. So great to have everybody there. The most important is we have our belated birthday boy, Jim Weaver, who's refusing to put his picture up because it was a really rough night last night. Jim, congratulations. You can spell something more than PPP, I promise. Yeah, and Greg Holding has a special greeting just for you, Jim. This month, or this quarter's Happy Bucks is going to the Meal Pack program And Michael Granucci will tell us a little bit more about some other exciting service opportunities associated with that. Other than that, stay tuned and stay healthy.
We also have another birthday tomorrow, and that would be Mr. Oatmeal himself, Brian Henning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that, Brian.
Yeah.
The traveling man.
Okay, so let me make a couple announcements. Dottie, you had something that you want to share with the club.
Yes, I just wanted to thank everyone for such a great response of donating for the Salvation Army Hope House. Caroline had a great picture in the newsletter yesterday. And so I went to Costco. I was able to score 3 big bundles of paper towels, and I'll go back and continue to fill that up as they need it, and a bunch of hand soaps. So I had my husband help me, and I made a label up that I'm going to put on the packages of the big things of soap, and it will give note to where it came from. It's just black and white, but we'll do that so that they'll know where they're donated from. And I'd gone by to see it and think it's going to work out great. And if you want me to, Art and Mickey, I can put one on the side of the water station if you want, just to give notice. So I'll do that today. And I just want to thank everyone. I was just unbelievable. We'll be able to supply them with paper and soap products through the summer. So thank you so much for answering the call, Duty.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Dottie. A couple other things. Rotary International President Mark Maloney is giving a keynote speech on Monday at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. I am going to send a separate email out to the club with that link if you'd like. It's a Zoom call, so if you'd like to join that, and I certainly encourage everyone to do that, it would be a great opportunity for you to hear from him directly. So stay tuned, there'll be an email on that. Also, if you haven't received an email or heard, the Rotary International Convention in June will be virtual. There's more details coming about that later, but obviously it was supposed to be in Hawaii. They had to cancel that, but they're going to continue with a virtual format. So that'll be great. You can participate that way as well. We have a board meeting this next Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. Excuse me. It will be a Zoom meeting. If you would like to join that, all members are always welcome to join a board meeting. Obviously, with this virtual environment, we're doing it a little abbreviated. We're kind of cutting to the chase and not able to do as much socializing as we like to do. But so just a heads up, we tend to get right to the decisions and the issues that we need to take care of right away. But Caroline, if you could, I'll get you the Zoom link. If you could post that on the website, that would be great in case anybody would like to participate. That you're more than welcome, anyone. Okay, now it's time to do our Guess the Member. Brian Flick is not able to join us this morning, so he sent me the answers because I don't have them. I don't see who's winning and keeping up. But if you could go ahead and tee that up, Caroline, that would be great. And we can go over where we are with Guess the Member. There was some really interesting answers and actually interesting facts on our members this week. So let's go to the overview. So this past week, we had 29 people participate, just like we did the week before. I have to tell you personally, I'm just tickled to death to see that many people respond. The survey takes probably 90 seconds at most, unless you really want to torment yourself and think hard about who the correct answer might be on each question. But again, we're going strong on this game, and I think it's something that might go for a while. It's pretty good time. But let's go to the first question. So this member has an aunt and uncle who had 15 children, all single births with no adoptions. And you can see the overwhelming popular response. It looks like it was Paul Hunt. If you could go to the next slide. So Paul got 37.9% of the votes. Brian Lane got 6.9. Regan got 27.5, and Wanda Lanier got 27.5. The winner is Regan. It's Regan who has an aunt and uncle with 15 children.
Wow.
Wow.
Question number 2. This person played trumpet in the college marching band and was on the football field for home games for 4 years. And looks like you guys pretty much thought, the majority thought it was Jeffrey Bond. Peter came in 3rd, Diane Jordan came in 4th, and Steve Zane came in 2nd. And if you'll go to the next slide. Yeah, so Jeffrey got 48, almost 50% of the vote. But the winner, the answer is Peter Williams. So another fool to everyone. While he was getting ready for med school, he was also in the marching band for 4 years. Pretty impressive. Okay, question 3. As a kid, this member grew a 22-pound sweet potato that was cooked for Thanksgiving dinner. Mickey took the majority of the votes, and then everybody thought, Jim Weaver, you were coming in 2nd, Stephanie 3rd, and Deb Cottle 4th. And the winner on this one was, in fact, Mickey Ulmer. That sweet potato is probably so big he was able to cut it up and use it at Sonny's. It took that long to cook it all. And finally, question number 4. This member and their spouse have visited one of every 50 states in the United States. So, boy, Roy got the majority of the votes, it looks like. Sharon Kettles came in last. John Kublock and Carol Stevens, you guys were neck and neck on this one. And the correct answer on this one was, in fact, Roy Miller. So a lot of you guys got that right. So a couple interesting statistics on this. Only 2 members who responded in that survey got all 4 answers right, and that was Mickey and Stephanie Eastep. So good job, guys. And the last 2 weeks, Brian Henning was in the lead with the most correct answers. However, that has changed.
Uh-oh.
It is now a 4-way tie for the lead with the most correct answers. Brian, you're still in the running, yes. But you're now competing with Katie Newton, with Teresa Schuster, and Dan Westra. So go get them, guys. Okay, and if you, again, as we've said before, if you have an interesting little known fact that you would like to send to Brian Flick, you can do that, and we'll put that into the survey. It's so interesting to learn all those things about everyone. All right, now we're going to move on to our guest speaker. I think you guys probably all have heard of him, much less most of you have probably met him, but we are welcoming today Dale Martin, our city manager of Fernandina Beach. He's really bored right now. He's got nothing going on. City's got just kind of taken a break from everything. So he was kind enough to agree to talk with us, but obviously I'm kidding. And Dale, I have to say, given the current circumstances, we really appreciate you carving out time to come to speak to us. And we're very anxiously awaiting to hear what all is going on with the city and how you're handling the whole quarantine and lockdown. So with no further ado, I'd like to hand it over to Dale. Thank you, Dale.
Good morning, Jody, and good morning to all of you. It is a bright, gorgeous morning, as you can see on everybody's background. Yeah, the coronavirus has caused some interesting challenges, but ironically, most of the city operations have continued as normal with the exception of our meetings. Due to the requirement for social distancing, the governor passed an executive order that we, the city commission, and for the time being, only the city commission, can meet remotely. We are currently working, and Katie is playing a key part in how we craft the ability to have all of our other boards and commissions meet virtually. Typically, state law requires that we at least have a quorum, a little over half the members present for a physical meeting. But the governor's executive orders, although it specifically says the governing body, which applies only to the city commission, communities across the state are realizing that we need our boards and commissions for government to function. So other communities have started their boards and commissions meeting, and I don't think there's been any legal pushback from that. We are preparing how to have virtual meetings for those other boards and commissions in the month of May. So some of those key boards will start meeting because the business of government still has to grind on. This morning we opened up, for the most part, all of the remaining recreational facilities. The beaches were opened on Monday. And today we opened the parking at Sadler Beach, and we opened the pickleball courts, the tennis courts, and the petanque courts. The golf course was opened on Monday as well. So the only thing that really isn't open per se or available for group play is are the ball fields and the soccer fields. We can't have organized play yet. Some of the CDC guidelines haven't really come out, and plus a lot of people are still overly cautious. So we can have, if 4 or 5 people show up at the soccer fields and want to kick a soccer ball around, I doubt we're going to rush them off the field or things like that. But we're not going to have league play at either the ball fields or the soccer fields. But otherwise, get out and exercise. I know a lot of people were making use of the Greenway. So it's, for the most part, we've been operating normally. City facilities, however, are still closed to the general public. Nearly everything is available remotely if you have an application or email. But City Hall and the PEC Center, where a lot of other administrative offices are, and the Atlantic Rec Center and the Martin Luther King Center are still closed to the general public. But for the most part, staff has continued to work from their offices throughout this entire last 6 weeks. Some of the ongoing issues, again, we're still kind of moving along on moving forward with some of the projects we've talked about. We finished a sidewalk project downtown that connects Ash Street to Center Street. We're currently reviewing plans to install new railroad safety signals at both Ash Street and Center Street. So that's going to require some engineering on how to do some reconfiguration of Front Street. The marina, we should have the north part, all the dock sections are up at the port. They were shipped to the port. They'll be floated down to the marina. We'll demolish the northern section and install the new docks within the next couple weeks. And then we'll install the utilities and the fuel, and we should be fully operational by the beginning of July. If you haven't been down to see the large yacht owned by Mayor Miller, I'm only teasing. It's a 248-foot yacht, slightly smaller than the cruise ship that's now berthed at the port. That cruise ship is docked there mainly because with no cruise ships at sea, they've run out of space to berth all the cruise ships. So they're all trying to find parking spots, and the port can accommodate one. We cannot accommodate a ship that large at the marina. But I've had word that after the 248-foot yacht leaves, that a 300-foot yacht is scheduled to come into the city marina. So that will be interesting to see as well. But I don't see too many yachts at the marina that are bigger than City Hall. Those are pretty much the key projects going. We received some qualifications for marina operations, so we're currently reviewing that. The marina is operated by a company called Westrec. So we're reviewing our current operating agreement, management agreement with Westrec, as well as 4 other companies that have put in proposals to operate the marina. Projects are moving forward at the golf course, specifically the Top Tracer program. We'll be renovating the driving range and the greens on the north course. The intent is to have that project completed by the end of August, if not sooner. But otherwise, it's sort of business as usual in a weird sort of way. We're adapting, I think, as everybody is. I think everybody misses the social aspect, not only of personal life, but professional life. But I think the community is doing well. Cases remain low throughout the county as well as the city. So I would just urge everyone to continue what they're doing. We'll see how this goes over the next few weeks following the governor's soft reopening. But continue to find ways to support your local businesses. They've been struggling. Most of the restaurants offer takeout. Most of them may even be open now on a limited basis. So I encourage you to support those, not only the restaurants, but some of the other businesses as well. But if you have any questions, Jody, I'll be glad to take some for the time being.
What we'll do is we'll unmute everyone, and so you all have been unmuted. If anyone would like to ask a question, go for it.
Speechless.
Hey, you all are unmuted.
Question. Dale, this is Greg. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Dale, I'm one of the coaches for the city swim team. We usually have quite a few kids participating, close to 150. Any word on when that pool may be opening?
I've been consulting with Ms. Voigt and trying to find out how other communities are handling pools. That's going to be a tricky issue. It's the same thing with child care, with baseball leagues, with boys and girls clubs, with how do you know, it may be somewhat easy for all of us adults to understand the concept of social distancing, but when you get, kids are kids, and it's going to be, I will probably say it's going to be a while before we open the pool, but it's something that we recognize that's a city facility, and let's find out how we can do it safely.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting the swim team.
Oh, no worries. I love it.
Anyone else have? Go ahead.
I got a question for you from a standpoint of the budget. Have you had a chance to start looking at what the potential impact might be on the current fiscal year budget?
Yes, Peter. We actually started working on next year's fiscal budget. Our belief is that the impact on this year's budget will likely be minimal. And the reason for that is this is not so far a real estate driven or likely to be a real estate driven recession should we fall into a true recession. The city has received about 80% of our revenues already collected for the year. And the most impacted line will most likely be the sales tax line. Now, the city doesn't get much revenue from the sales tax, and that actually in our budget is combined with fuel tax and use taxes, which total amount to about $3 million of our $19 million general fund. So about 17% of our budget is related to sales and use and fuel taxes. Now, people are still buying fuel, not quite at the same rate. So we expect that line to go down, but through March, our collections on that specific line item were actually ahead of last year's collection rate. Now, admittedly, April's numbers are undoubtedly going to be much lower. With regard to property values, the property values, your home values, those were actually set in January. So that was before nearly everybody, before any impact of the virus had taken hold. So your property values are actually, they were set before the impact of the virus. So in the early estimate last year, the city's property values, total taxable value, went up by almost 15%. Very, very escalating property values. This year, the early estimate is that there's no way we can sustain 15% over the course of the years, but the early estimate from the property appraisers that we will still exceed 9% growth for 2019. So we started working on the budget. Typically, a report done by an outside financial advisor last year indicated that we typically collect about 106% of the revenues we budget. So we collect more revenues than we plan, but we also only spend about 96% of what our expenditures are. So we got a good 10% cushion there. The city by ordinance, we're required to have a 20% reserve for emergencies. So we have roughly $4.5 million set aside for reserves. And on top of that, we have yet another $2.5 million of what are referred to as unrestricted reserves. We can use that money on anything we see fit. So the impact for the short to midterm on city operations is likely to be minimal. It's the businesses that are going to be hurting more, and the city commission is looking at ways that we can help support our local businesses. But we should be fine financially.
Good, thanks.
Great explanation. Great. Anybody else have any other questions?
Jody, it looks like Dan has a question, but he's muted.
Nope, he's not muted.
Okay. Dale, this is Dan Westra. I know if I told the IRS that I lost my W-2, therefore I wasn't going to pay my taxes this year, that probably wouldn't fly. Can you help us understand what's going on with FEMA losing the city's approved relief for marina repairs?
Yeah, what happened in a quick thumbnail sketch, FEMA sends out, in the aftermath of Hurricane Matthew, FEMA sent out a coastal specialist. That gentleman, 1 year after the storm, prepared the formal form that indicated how much damage or what the estimated repair to the marina was. And that estimate was $6.3 or $6.5 million to repair the damaged attenuator. The attenuator is the outer dock or a breakwater. And you get into some very technical differences, but the attenuator is the outside breakwater. That original estimate in October of 17 was for $6.5 million. In October of 18, another specialist came out, and they decided, because of the issues we were having with the Corps of Engineers and permitting, they broke the project into two parts. Part A, which was the south, and Part B, which was the north. And they only evaluated A at the time, the south, and that alone then came in at $6.3 million. So with two independent, distinct surveys and estimates of roughly $6.5 million, the city moved forward with the anticipation that the reimbursement would be based upon that number. FEMA reimburses the city 75% of whatever the cost is. So now, even though they estimated at 6.5, if we follow our bid process and the project comes in at $12 million, FEMA still pays us 75% of the $12 million. That's just an estimate. So we went out, we got the bids. FEMA, again, pays us 75%. Then the state picks up half of the remaining balance. So that would be 12.5%. So the city would anticipate roughly 87, 88% reimbursement on the marina. Then FEMA decided to do a third evaluation. And that evaluation is the one that's still pending. But they are, the first two and the frustration from the city side is the first two evaluations were done when we had the damaged facility still in place. And there were on-site inspections done by FEMA personnel. Now they're relying on reports and photographs and no physical inspection, and they're saying, well, it's not going to rise to the level we originally indicated. And they said that they're basing their report on a repair estimate, because the FEMA policy is if the repairs would exceed 50% of the cost, you are eligible to replace the whole thing. Well, FEMA is saying they have this document that indicates that we could have repaired it for significantly less than what we would have replaced it at. So there are people in FEMA that are now saying you only needed to repair those dock sections. You didn't need to replace the whole thing. And so we're asking for a copy. The city never got a copy of this repair estimate. And so we're asking FEMA, okay, if you're basing it on this repair estimate, can I please see a copy of that repair estimate? And FEMA says, well, we don't have that form anymore. So that's the frustration. It's like, well, can you just give me your final determination so I can start the process of appealing? Because some of our disaster assistance consultants that have 20 years experience with FEMA have indicated that FEMA has completely mismanaged this entire process. Congressman Rutherford and his staff They have been outstanding in their support. Congressman Rutherford, as Jody indicated, things are busy at the city level. They're also busy in Washington. He's taken time out to at least sit in personally on at least 3 one-hour-long meetings on behalf of the city. So we're trying to move it forward. I fully anticipate that if I'm forced to appeal, we will be successful with our appeal and we'll get the reimbursement that's due to us. But it's been frustrating as all get out.
Wow. What a mess. Anybody else have any other questions?
Thanks, Dale.
Thanks, Dale.
Yeah, great stuff. All right. Well, we are then going to go ahead and wrap up our meeting today. I just want to let everybody know if there's anything you need or if you have an announcement that you'd like to add to the group, please email me and let me know, and I'll make sure you get on the agenda. Also, remember there is a board meeting this coming Wednesday, and I'll have Caroline post the Zoom link on the website. So if you'd like to join, you are more than welcome to do that. It is closed to members only, but all of you are certainly welcome to attend. And with that, would you please join me in reciting the 4-way test? Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the
Is it the
truth?
truth? Is it fair to all concerned?
Will it build
Goodwill and better
friendship?
Better friendships.
Will it be beneficial
To all concerned.
Guys, go out and have a wonderful week. Be safe, be healthy. Please reach out to other Rotarians here if you need anything. And I will see you next week. Dale, thank you
Bye.
so very much.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye now.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Dale.
Bye, Mickey.
Bye-bye.